welcome, my Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your Path of True Love read. Timeless, but doing this in the month of October 2021. I'm your reader, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle if you want to go check it out. The Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons. But you can call me Mal. And my mother is a Cancerian sun sign, so I can say I've been exposed to the cardinal water sign since jump. If you are new to my channel, a Path of True Love read, a timeless Path of True Love read, there's a preface explaining that in the description box below, a YouTube video that you can watch to get about it. But to boil it down, it is your healing path, your hero's journey, your spiritual evolution seen through the lenses of the many relationships in your life. In this case, one relationship in particular, you and whoever is crossing your path on the hero's journey to become the divine love, the true love, the immortal, eternal divine being that you truly are, which is what truly the purpose of relationships are all about. Course in Miracles says, is it a means or is it an end? It's a means, all right, and a means to becoming the true love that we really are. So it's a high vibrational spiritual read. They're not always romantic when they hit the table, but there are plenty of cards to show us if it is or if it isn't usually. It's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Because this is about you, not about the other person, believe it or not. I know. So all the decks that I read are always in the bottom of the description box. Both feet on the floor. Stay grounded if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can using these cards, my connection to the divine, my own intuitive skills, and an augmented Celtic Cross spread. Let's see what hits the table. Ready? Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my collective pantheons, I should say the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of the path of true love, the spirit animals, totems, as well as the higher selves of all involved, fifth dimension and above, eighth chakra and above, for the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading as specific as we can, using the Caroline Myss Archetype cards. Understanding that the Cancerian could be on either side of this in a general read. What is the dominant 8th chakra archetype? The lesson being learned, the soul pattern being developed, strengthened on the path of true love. First, let's say this one is the Cancerian. What's going on in their 8th chakra? That feels really good. And for whoever is crossing their path, reason, season, lifetime, lover, father, brother, sister, we're all one at the end of the day, and that's 2 cards. What? Please, my beloveds, 1 card. Who's crossing their path and what's their archetypal balance for this true love read? Wow, we've got the witch and the thief. Uh-oh, someone's in trouble. You really don't want to steal from a witch. Now look, I'm a professional witch, but you don't have to claim that to have the witch archetype, right? The witch is about wisdom. Now, this is one of the blank cards that Caroline Myss provides in the deck, because there are so many archetypes. For her to make a card for all of them, you'd need a U-Haul, right? And a cement mixer to just shuffle them. No. So the witch, because I am one, certainly I would have to put it in one of the 9 families, but really it feels like it's in 2 because there are different types of witches. Certainly the wisdom family of archetype, because witch is a gender neutral word. Witch and warlock, there's an ongoing debate about that in the pagan community, and so motivate. You all have at it, I don't care. But to me, witch is gender neutral, wise person, someone who is witty, and someone who knows things that other people don't usually know, which is why we tend to get burned at the stake one way or the other. So now we know the shadow side, right? The shadow to light, the toxic to healthy, the lead to gold. However, this is the soul lesson in the 8th chakra, affecting the electromagnetics of your chakras, who you're attracting, who you're repelling. We know what the shadow side of the witch is because that's what we've been fed since birth in terms of the stories, right? The Wicked Witch, the Wicked Witch. Except I had Samantha Stevens influence as a very, very young child. I just knew I hated Watergate because the Watergate trials preempted Bewitched. Gay boy. Yeah. So, and so then we know what the Good Witch is as well, right? But, if you've ever read the book Wicked, I know the musical, great adaptation for a musical. But if you actually read the book, Gregory Maguire's Wicked, you get that Glinda ain't so good and Alphaba ain't that wicked, right? We're all a blend of that. So this is about how are you using your wisdom? Are you using your wisdom with love and power or not? An ethical thing here. And with a thief, Now, every archetype is neutral. So as toxic as it sounds is as brilliant as its light is. The shadow attribute, action family archetype, by the way. Shadow attribute, stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. In other words, it's not always so physical, tangible, right? You can steal affection, you can steal attention, you can suck the energy out of a room, but that's also the vampire archetype. That's not on the table here necessarily. So let's look at the light. This is genius. Sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. Now, I can take that into one area just off the top of my head because of some other projects I have going on. The books that I want to write, I got several. I've got so many books backed up inside of my subconscious that eventually I need the time, the space, the money, and the creative energy to do them. Those ideas can never be stolen because a lot of them are autobiographical, including my autobiography. I'm going to do 3 of them. One for my career, one for my relationships with men, and one for my relationships with the divine, because my relationships with women are a huge part of my career. So that can never be stolen from me. I mean, other people can write about me, but no one knows the stories that I can't even remember yet, right? So that's really lovely in that. But again, a general read, where's that balance of lead to gold, toxic to light, shadow to light, toxic to healthy, pain to peace. And that's what the path of true love is for, is to do that, to give you what you need to alchemize that. All right. Celtic Cross time. 10 Daughters of the Moon Tarot to represent the next 4 chakras down. The crown, the third eye, the throat, and the heart. Your internal world, your feminine energy, your yin dynamic. Hence Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Please breathe. Because I'm really interested in this. I have no planets in Cancer, but let's see what this is about. Please, I call upon my goddesses of water, the sign of Cancer, powers of the West. Please, 10 cards, face up, one at a time. Celtic Cross for the Cancerian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I'm watching this video, receiving this reading. I'm just going to say that this is the Cancerian with the witch archetype. Here, but we acknowledge in a general read it can bop back and forth. What's going on, heart, throat, third eye, crown for that witch on the path of true love at the time that they are watching this, really the present moment, the now. All right, we're going to go with that. The 5 of Blades, the Hurricane, which would be the 5 of Swords. Not necessarily overthinking, but there's a lot of contradictory thought. Now, for a wisdom, I would say wisdom, and can also be divine family. I would place them in both because it depends. I'm a mystical witch. It's a little different than just point and shoot. This is definitely a thing for a wisdom archetype, though. A lot of thoughts, a lot of contradictory thoughts, and as I've said all along, with this card, I've been reading this deck longest. I got it when I was 19. I'm 53. Familiar with this deck. Where is the safest place to be in a hurricane? And metaphorically, the answer is in the eye of the storm, right? So you're the still point, and it's all flying around you. This can also be gossip that you've heard. This can be the well-meaning, the toxicity of the well-meaning, like people who love you and care about you and fear for you, and as well as it could certainly be an internal argument. How about this thief crossing their path, my beloved goddesses? Because I have a feeling there are thieves in the temple tonight. What's going on with that thief on the inner? Oh my. 5 of Flames, Pele the volcano. Five of Wands. There's some eruption going on here. Wow. Now you gotta say, air feeds fire. So the two of you together, you could really be triggering each other, but do understand that fives are about change, so a change of mind and a change of desire. But certainly with this volcano, this was built up in the Four of Flames and eventually blew its top. Only halfway through the cycle of fire in this deck, but also keep in mind volcanic ash, highly fertilizing, right? Mineral, nutrient dense. That's why the volcanic islands in the Pacific Ocean are so abundant in so many different ways in terms of vegetation and animals, right? Plant and animal kingdom. Let's see. This could also, all right, I hear that. This could be about their potential bursting, right? That potential within that can't be stolen from them. This could be a real ignition of something here, but only out of 5, right? It's already been ignited. This is ba-boom. It's at the core of this that they don't see, unless they're really tuned in to their intuition. 7 of Cups, called jealousy, and I think that could be a part of this, and we'll talk about that in a second. But certainly the 7 of Cups, right, is those castles in the sky, you know, Rider-Waite Tarot. Ooh, I want that, and ooh, I want that, and ooh, I want that. But you can only manifest one of them at a time, right? You got to choose one of those. That's why after the 7 of Cups, you go into the 8 of Cups, right? That withdrawal to go within to find the 9th cup, your own emotional flow, and then it manifests into the 10. But let's talk about jealousy briefly. A little different than envy, which is a deadly sin. Yeah, jealousy is like lemonade. It would be like envy aid. It's a little watered down, but it can certainly be. I can feel the emotional upset here, but I also get the feeling that things are not being perceived correctly with those 2 5s on the table either. Now, people don't understand things about jealousy. I've heard people tell me it's like, well, people are jealous of you. I'm like, why? Right? Because if they knew the story of what I've had to go through to get here, it'd be like, no, you do not envy that. You're not jealous of that. And they said, no, it's they're jealous of your freedom. I was like, yeah, I don't feel so free. I'm like, yeah, but yourself, you see what I'm saying? Sometimes you just don't see it yourself, which is an opportunity to see qualities that you might not be aware of, right? So that thing of the 7 of Cups, it is emotional. You are a Cancerian. You're both feeling this. So what is this about? We'll get to it. Where is this coming from? What's behind them on the path of true love, particularly the Cancer, who we're going to say is the witch here? Ace of Pentacles, a nice solid potential inside of you. I think that you felt this relationship had a really good beginning inside yourself. A nice nugget of wisdom that, particularly as the witch, heart, third eye crown, the earth element is things you learned through experience, right? And those things that can't be stolen from you. You know, your wisdom can't be taken from you. There's always a higher truth to frame that experience with, but it's often in hindsight we look back. This is the past here, and we say, no, this has a good foundation, or at least I really, really felt that there was a wise potential here, like a healthy acorn that will eventually become an oak tree. What's crowning? What's hovering above this? Excellent. 7 of Flames, the victory card. I know, 6 of Wands, everybody says, you know, goes Rider-Waite and blessed be Pamela Coleman Smith. But Fiona Morgan, author of the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, made this women juggling fireballs in their hands, galloping on horses on cooling lava, but even the lava is flowing in the same direction they are. So it's not just all about their participation in this. There is a flow, but it is a flow of fire. Now, to me, that 5th position, crowning, I mean, it's like a baby being born. There are still choices to be made here. The free will of the witch and or the thief archetype here about what to do with that. Now, I will say the gut feeling, the solar plexus part of this I'm getting, made me burp a little. I'm a Virgo. I know how to conceal a burp. That there is this thing of momentum, of wanting to move forward, And it feels really, really, really good, but there's some trepidation here with these 5s on the table. So what's the 6th position? What's before them, just around the bend? Okay, your first court card, but heartthroat, third eye crown, this is about being inside of you. 9th house, Sagittarius, mutable fire, and Kiridwin, the crone of flames. This would translate to the Knight of Pentacles, mutable fire. The Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands in traditional tarot. So, you know, this is that. It's like I was saying before, oddly enough, I was like, why am I talking about this thing with jealousy and freedom? Because that's what Sagittarius is. Then even if you have no planets in Sagittarius, and if you do, look into it, there might be more info there for you in a general read. But certainly it's that flexibility of desire, that wildfire, and Kiridwin, or Ciridwin, I've heard it said so many times in different ways, a goddess of transformation. Read her myth and just stay away from the cauldron when it's bubbling. The myth I don't forget, the pronunciation I very well make because it's stuck with names. So, you know, if I feel like with that 7 of Flames crowning, if you claim that and say, no, I've got the inner momentum, we're going to get over this, we're going to deal with this, there's something of potential here in this relationship. Is it romantic, sexual? Not seeing anything that screams that yet, but I can see how it could be. All right. So with that Sagittarian energy, expansion, spirituality, 9th house vibe, really I would say connect with your choices in terms of aligning it with your third eye and your crown. Doesn't mean you have to act on it necessarily just yet, but even that freedom as a witch would always, I would suppose, want to see the higher truth. But that thief, having that freedom and that fun, and let's face it, Saggies are fun time. For Virgos, they're a fun time. Not usually life partner, but you do you. All right, here we go. Yeah, my first husband was a Sagittarius moon. That didn't go too well with my Pisces moon. Okay, here we go. Enough. What's the lesson here? 7th position, please. My goddesses. Just checking. Well, your lesson. The gods are trying to teach you is to be the Amazon. The Amazon here is the card of the Chariot. Certainly a Cancerian card. I don't know if you can see. She's got a crescent moon there for a shield. This is my Wonder Woman card. By the way, somebody sent this to me. Isn't that just the coolest thing? Is Wonder Woman is the Chariot. So, sort of right there. This is about you really balancing your Cancerian emotions. Heart, throat, third eye, crown, and what? Moving forward with victory. That you have free will in this situation. But, you know, the Chariot, yes, is fast-moving energy, but it is also emotional. And a lot of people don't know this. If you look at the Rider-Waite version of the Chariot, look at the little half moons on his shoulders. One is comedy, one is tragedy. That is the light horse and the dark horse here, in the sense that the light horse is inspiration, the carrot, and the dark horse is motivation, the stick. We need both of them. We need both inspiration and motivation, but in balance, right? Because you can be really inspired and not do a damn thing, and you can be like totally motivated but have like not paying attention to your guidance whatsoever, right? So you can see emotionally that really talks about the emotional quality of the journey, the hero's journey in general, right? And plus it's an Amazon and Wonder Woman, and why not? For a Cancerian, her name is Diana, after all, goddess of the moon. So please, from the outside vibing in horizontally, the witch. I'm going to say the predominant people, Cancerians watching this video, are the witch archetype, because that's your vibe. You are bringing yourself into alignment. And now you have 2 major arcana cards in a row, but not in the cross, in the staff running up the side, which is the more universal spiritual stuff, if you like. Absolutely, you're manifesting, you're bringing yourself into alignment. So then a witch can really see these 5s as necessary stages. Like if you're making a cake, you just don't pour the ingredients into a can and pop it, a pan and pop it in the oven. You got to blend it. You got to measure it. It is that process of change. And then once you put it in the oven, it's transformed. It's no longer ingredients. It's cake. Unless the cake is an ingredient, something else. But, you know, Martha Stewart yourself as much as you like. Right? And like, look at Martha. She brings it through. It is the card of the magician. So there is a vibe of alignment here, and hence the victory that's available. It seems very, very worth it, my crab cakes. What is their hopes and fears, their destiny hewn from fate, the gold alchemized from lead, the love that comes as a result of facing the fear for the Cancerians. Two of Cups. We're going to say this is romantic at this point. Take a nice deep breath, relax. Now it's a romantic read, right? Or at least there is a strong attachment here, right? It may not be a pure empathic bond yet. That doesn't mean you can't be feeling each other's stuff. I mean, empathically. Second chakra, right? Kind of feeling their vibe that way. But this does certainly speak of the heart chakra, heart, third eye, crown. There is a heart connection here, a soul contract, but we have soul contracts with everybody, even people we've never met, because we're all one. Only one soul. But certainly that thing of the whirlpool, this dance that the two of you are in, getting closer and closer and closer, and it's like both of you are in these eddies within them. It's like you're sort of spinning as you're getting closer together. So, I mean, it's a good thing. There's a lot of change going on here, an opportunity for realignment here. But where you are, I would say really honor your feelings that you feel for this person, whether you are the thief or the witch in this. I don't mean to call people thieves. I don't mind calling people witches, because it's a positive term for me. But you have those archetypes in play. It's just easier to say it the other way. All right, outcome. My goddess's most probable outcome, this timeline of this lifetime, the sun. The enlightenment, the clarity, the understanding, the happiness. Let's just leave that there right now and say, worth it. Worth it. Take this victory. You now have 3 major arcana cards on the table. I don't necessarily see a predominant. I think predominant is fire. 1, 2, 3, everything. But you also have 3 major arcana, 2 water, 1 air, 1 earth. Not a bad balance. Got all 5 elements. Let's look at the outside looking in. Lower 3 chakras. How you navigate the physical world, but also your relationships. Root chakra is tribal. This is in my book, Words of Grace, by the way. Root chakra is tribal relationships, groups, but not just your biological family. You have no idea how many tribes you're in until you start paying attention to it, right? Your favorite, right? Are you a fan of something that makes you in a tribe? Second chakra, one-on-one, which is what we're looking at here. Relationships, but also solar plexus is your relationship to yourself, your honor code, what you will, what you won't, what you do, what you don't, your boundaries, and your survival intuition. Breathe. As I call upon my gods of water, the sign of Cancer, powers of the West, please, 1 card at a time, Celtic Cross for the Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading involved. One or the other as the witch or the thief in this Path of True Love read. We got the witch with the 5 of blades on the inner, hurricane on the inner. On the outer, we've got the King of Cups, the Cancerian card, Cardinal Water. This is you. This is you. It has to be. I mean, I could mental gymnastic my way around that. But if you are identifying as the thief, with that you have the thief archetype and who runs headlong, arms open into that, but you can share archetypes with people. Why wouldn't that happen on the Path of True Love? Mirroring. Let's look at this thief. Volcano on the inner, and they do seem to be mirroring each other internally. 5 of air, 5 of fire. What's going on? Root, sacrum, solar plexus. 5 of Cups. Well, at least we know who's emotionally upset about this. I feel like the witch is holding their ground. The emotional maturity of Cardinal Water, the King of Cups, using this creatively, But the thief might be a little like, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. This is the myth of Eros and Psyche. Long story short, at the Five of Cups, she accidentally, well, it is her fault. She didn't get, they were married, but she didn't know what he looked like. Never saw his face. Part of their agreement. So she leans over him with a lamp, an oil lamp, sees that he's the god of love. He wakes up because a drop of oil hits him, and he's like, you broke our pact, I'm out. So something is revealed here that upsets somebody. Of course, 4 cups spilled, 1 cup standing. Doesn't mean it's the end. It's just a 5. There's an emotional upset here. Something went down. How could you not know each other? Right? Because sometimes Path to True Love reads are about somebody who you don't know has come in yet. But how could you not? And with that 7 of Cups, ooh, on the inner. What's going on there? What does that look like from the outside looking in? Yeah, the High Priestess. No one's talking about this. Cancerians much? Oh, please, I told you my mom's a Cancerian. But I'm a Pisces moon. I always knew something was up. Something was up. Just didn't know what, because y'all don't share. I mean, not as bad as Scorpios, y'all don't share, but High Priestess, there is secret knowledge here. No question, but also deep emotions on both sides. I don't think you two are really letting on how you really feel about each other. And part of how you feel about each other, there may be some jealousy here. Now, all right, I wasn't going to go here, but jealousy is also a form of intuition saying that I really, really want what they have. And to tell you that it's coming, but how you are dealing with them and they having the thing that you want, because it's a third eye thing. You don't know what they went through to been there. You don't know their contracts. You barely know your own. And I'll say that for myself. So when I do experience jealousy, which is rarely nowadays, because I understand the healing aspect of it, Matt Kahn, Whatever Arises, Love That, and Everything Is Here to Help You. Great books. He says it's like, those jealous voices need more love, not less. Just don't act on them, right? Get what they are. It's an intuitive thing showing you perhaps what your heart's desires are, but you don't know what that person had to go through to get that. It's a through line here. And if nobody talks about it, at least deals with it within themselves, that's what gets you to key people's cars. The deadly sin of the third eye, the healing grace is the grace of knowledge as well as the grace of clarity. You're not seeing clearly. This can also be very subconscious. All right, third position. So let's look at, there is potential here from the past, this seed, this new beginning potential that really sits in their energy field, or at least did. What's that look like? On the outer, 6 of Swords. It wasn't something that you were mentally unbalanced about, and I mean, you got there with the 5. You could say there was a de-evolution, if you will, a little regression here, going from the 6 of Swords, like this might have been humming along. Maybe even you were coming out of rough waters into smoother, calmer seas as a result of balancing the mind here. The 6 of Blades, good equal communication going back and forth. But it did bring you to, I'm really going to say this is the Cancer, as a true, authentic you, right? Like that I feel like when you have your sun sign, or sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign show up zodiacally as you, that is saying that you are really embodying that. And with the Witch archetype wisely, but you know that your mind is in 5 of Swords now, and that there's this undercurrent there, but I don't think you were expecting this, and yet you're the one who's being a bit more emotionally mature here. And that's why we got that 7 of Flames, the victory card in the crown. This has to be chosen, but sometimes even if you don't choose it, it plays itself out if it's fate. Please, what's going on there from the outside looking in? The Death card. Hades, who's not a murderer, not the god of murder. He's the ender of pain, the bringer of compassion, right? The ceasing of suffering. A transformation is available here in this relationship on the outside, but it is a death transformation. There is alchemy involved. There's most likely shadow work involved. Because now that I look at this, I can get that you both have experiences doing this before, not only with each other, perhaps. Maybe this is the first time it's happened in this relationship. But that thing of they feeling like there's a power that they lack that you have, hence that jealousy. And it is creating conflict here, but it does, I bet you dollars to donuts, as my grandma, my father's mother used to say, my grandma used to say, dollars to donuts that there is pain inside of both of you that has nothing to do with each other. That is really the opportunity to heal here. Hence the path of true love in general. Again, this is a romantic thing, so we carry a lot of stuff. You know, but what is it a means? Is this relationship a means to your own healing, growth, and evolution, or is it an end? An end of pain, an end of suffering, an end of feeling lonely. When has that ever played out that way? All right, here we go. That Sagittarius, that freedom, right? This has gotta be for this Cancerian energy, that mutable fire, that Sagittarius Caridwen, particularly goddess of transformation. After the god of death and transformation there in the crown, what's before them? The Fool. Dionysos, oh Dionysos, god of wine, dearest Lord, patron mine. This is the taking the leap. Now, toward into this or away from, I don't know, because you got mutable fire. There is a transformation that literally leads to a new beginning. Now, the Death card is not the last card in the major arcana, the world, the universe is. But it feels like you have the freedom and the free will, if you go through this transformation, to dictate what you want to do. Yes, a leap of faith, but something way more aligned, because your lesson has to do with the Cancerian card of the Amazon on the inner, right? Inspiration, oh, I really want it, but motivation, yeah, no, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this with my freedom intact. Thank you very much. What's going on here? How does this look from the outside looking in? Queen of Wands, you're looking good, or you're dealing with someone with Leo vibe, fixed fire, Queen of Wands here. Personally, I get that this is a POV, a point of view of you. Whoever's watching this, again, could be either here. Charming, warm, fun, fifth house energy, and free. And honestly, with that Sagittarius vibe on the table too, this is about you really learning. Perhaps that people are jealous of you that you don't see, because you are doing what you have, the freedom, you have the creativity, the cardinal water, but I think you shine at it. And I think in this relationship, you need to take that into consideration. Now, I wouldn't call him out on it, not with this High Priestess with the Seven of Cups jealousy on the inner. No, I would say that they might not even really be aware of it, because we don't want to look at it. It's shadow stuff, but this is exactly what Path of True Love stuff is. This is why it could be a family member, someone with that Two of Cups, where you are. It's like there is that love there, but it doesn't feel like family energetically on the table here. It does feel like your game's on point, but you're fixed fire. You may not be running all over creation for this person. You might be more like the sun, radiating, putting out your light there, and very, very driven. Look, what you want in this relationship is you may never want to deal with this person again with these fives on the table, and you're not talking to each other, at least not about the deeper stuff here. And also because from the outside looking in, you are vibing as the witch, one of the dominant archetypes on the table, right? In alignment, just a clear shot from the higher chakras all the way down into the earth. Air, fire, water, earth, all in alignment here. What's going on from the outside looking in? Justice. Athena, formidable, balanced. Notice how now the major arcana cards are coming in. This is definitely a Path of True Love read. I mean, that's what they are. But this is about that balance, that fairness. I think you shall not be moved in terms of what is honorable for you, what is right for you, what is just for you. I don't think you realize how powerful you are. And Cancerians usually don't, right? Depends on the placement. But, they just want to be in their home. What do you mean by that? What do you mean? A little guarded that way. but not with the, maybe the lesson is for you to just let him have it, but with your authenticity, with that King of Cups vibe, in that Athena, we are going to look at this from a higher point of view. We are going to do what is just. We are going to do what's fair as a righteous king does. Righteous meaning right use rather than abusive, right? Right use-ive instead of abusive. With this intense spiritual power, this person might very well be intimidated by you. Yeah, my mom's a queen archetype, by the way, and people are. Sweetest person you ever want to know, but everyone in my family is like a fierce individual, even the steps, right? We just all are. We're attracted to what a soul family. Very, very different, and that doesn't mean we always agree. You know? All right. Two of Cups on the inner. I mean, who doesn't want to see that in their destiny? There is love here. There's mutual love here. Absolutely. What does that look like on the outer where they are on the path? Wheel of Fortune. Guys are slaying with the major arcana here. The fates, the Norns in the destiny card, and the fate and destiny card in the fate and destiny position. This is written into the script. Before you incarnated, this contract has its clauses and its codicils and its loopholes. Whatever is going on here, a witch and a thief, it's time. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. That is certainly my divine timing card in this particular deck, saying that you can't change what's happening right now, but like in a video game, everything is already programmed. It's already programmed in there. You have the choice, but it's going to get you to where you need to go. You can't escape your fate, but you can alchemize it into destiny by taking the hero's journey. And why not? You end up, horrible way to say it, end up with the star in your outcome on the inner, heart, third eye crown. What's going on the outer here? Yeah, a little bit of a womp womp. Seven of Swords, the sneaky deaky card for me here, but it can also be being covert, being discreet, right? It's not all, no tarot card is completely positive or completely negative. It varies from read to read. It's all a sliding scale of lead to gold. This does feel like you're sort of like, you know what? I'm going to do me, and I'm going to keep this silence going on because I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy. I'm going to be the mature one here and do my own work. I'm going to do me. I'm going to move forward here, and I'm going to do it justly with alignment, because even though I love this person, I mean, unless this is really somebody that, you know what I'm about to say, and I'm sure a lot of readings, this is true for a lot of you watching it, that there's something about this person, you're not supposed to be with them in the way that you want to be with them, so there's some sneaking around, right? Third party situation. By the way, no threes on the table, not that that's necessarily an immediate indicator of a third party situation, but there might be some stealth going on here. I wouldn't go so far as to say espionage, but again, if we go back to the Rider-Waite version, Pamela Coleman Smith, right, designed that deck, you know, the guy with the swords like sneaking away, but he doesn't see the two that are there, because it can be self-preservation. It's like, well, I'm going to steal these swords so they can't come and stab me with them, but there's always something missed in it. Right? So it depends, because you can't change your fate. Even the things that you think you do that may be subversive to fate end up fulfilling it. So there's a lot on the table here for you in terms of spiritual growth. You certainly have choices. There's victory here for you. Just not so sure if it involves the thief archetype here, if you are the witch. And again, it can be vice versa, where the thief really taps into their full potential here. I just don't feel it that way. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, we're out of Tarot land. This is an exciting read. Let's get some oracles. This will help. The Whispers of Love Oracle, the voices of the higher selves. Please take a nice deep breath. Yeah, nice and high, as I call upon the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, one for each, on the path of true love. For the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, what is the piece of information, inspiration, insight from the higher self of the one with the witch archetype? We will put that there. And how about from the higher self of the one with the thief archetype in this Cancerian timeless true love read? Okay, well, the witch, I think you know this, like attracts like. If you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. And I'm going to say, if you are aware that there is a jealousy thing here that has nothing to do with you, right, except it's your lesson to learn how to respond to it, send them love. You're a witch, quote unquote, how you want to take that. To send them love, but to do it discreetly. That absolutely explains this, right? Send them love, send them prayer. But if you want to curse them, I'm going to say, I was really well trained. But I see from higher dimensions a lot of times that blessings and curses are essentially the same thing. Because how many times has something that looked like a curse been a blessing and a blessing a curse? So I call them a blurse. May you heal. It's the best one. Because you know what it's like to heal. May you heal. Right? It's going to come around to you if you want to play, threefold law of return. Not everybody agrees with that. But certainly, like attracts like. If you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. And if this is a family member, you're probably going to get around to that eventually. But that Two of Cups. For the thief, love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this is truth. So there's no need to steal it, right? There's no need to steal affection, steal love, but there is anger. At least 5 of flames. The volcano on the inner with 5 of cups, emotional upset on the outer. No. There is potential love inside of them, and there is a lot of power. And look, just because someone has a thief archetype reason, season, or lifetime, they are on this journey of something that is certainly shown here in the staff part, particularly that alignment coming into justice, right? This potential within them to shine. Love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. We're going to go to the Divine Animals Oracle, Stacy DeMarco. Whom, what, I don't like calling them what's either. The spirit animals and the totems. Let's just ask. Breathe. Because this is something else here. Please, I call upon the pantheons of spirit animals and totems for the Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in the Witch Thief archetypal timeless true love read here. Who swims with them, who flies with them, who walks with them, who crawls with them on the path of true love, giving them guidance and grace. Seahorse. Equality. Seahorse. Now, I was raised by a nursery school teacher. I know why equality is in there, because both parents take care of the child. There's a lot of equal give and take in that relationship. Biologically, there are things that shift. I'm just going to read you the beginning and the ending of this. There's a crap ton of info here, though. Really well written book. But micro nano font. Sounds like a tarot card. The nano font. Card number 14, Seahorse. Seek equality in relationships, in particular intimate ones. Justice. This is that. You will attract what you resonate, like attracts like. This reading seems almost purely for the witch archetype here, gotta say. You can decide your future. Hiding from your fears is rarely a good strategy. It is time to ensure that the domestic and emotional labor in your world is shared equally. I don't think you can get more Cancerian than that, right? Even your domestic power, that there is a sharing here, that someone's not thieving. This has to be someone I would think in your daily life. But then again, that could be someone you work with, right? Not always such an emotional thing here. But there is that Two of Cups. Let me read the magic. Like most ocean-based elemental magic, the keys here are flow and fluidity. water sign. However, seahorse magic can be best utilized around issues of equality. If you want to be seen as an equal, or you are being discriminated against in sex, race, or status, you can ask for the help of seahorse energy to receive balance and justice. It's written on it's already on the table. So yeah, call upon the magic of the seahorse, which I believe starts with, a Google search, right? Really tap into the behavior and the specific biology, right? Things like that make them different than a starfish, a seahorse, different phyla, no, different species in the genus, whatever. Nursery school teacher, not a biology teacher I was raised by, right? But that thing of how they share the responsibility, that equality for carrying the eggs and taking care of the baby seahorses, they should be called sea ponies. All right, so we really get what this is about. There has been an inequality here, hence the upset here that we see in the fives. That has to change, but I feel like you're free to do whatever you want in this situation, and the thief may not be. Hence that jealousy, nobody's talking about it. Just send this person love. This has nothing to do with you, with this upset. But I think that hurricane inside of you, you may have been really caught in conflict, maybe hearing what other people have been saying about this situation, or what you see on the internet. It's screwing with your third eye. So be aware, and deadly sin of envy is the deadly sin of the third eye, but is healed with the grace of sacred knowledge, and divine clarity. Work. Last card down. Very important. I would say this is a somewhat important reading depending on who's watching it, right? Because now, here's the healing mantra that will help you heal this, regardless of who you are. The thief. Yeah, comment below, like, which one are you? And if you are the thief in this, and I've got this completely wrong, point it out, because it's just another way of looking at the information, and I'm a Virgo. Breathe. Yeah, seriously, the higher selves have given us some interesting stuff here, but I need the Ascended Masters of the Path of True Love for the Cancerian Collective. There you are. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Suns watching this video, receiving this reading. What is their perfect healing mantra for this incredibly long, but I think very relevant and important reading here for our Cancerians here in the Witch and the Thief soul contract path of true love here. With that equality, right? Like attracts like, justice and balance. Love is all around them. No need to steal. What's going on here? Their perfect healing mantra for this. Releasing expectations. This is where freedom comes from. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. And I could talk about this one for an hour, right? Look at what some of those teachings of not just magic but universal law have done, giving us way more stress, right? It's like, oh, I gotta think positively, I gotta visualize it 45 minutes every day. Back in the 80s, I still have them upstairs, my journals, writing affirmations out 100 times a day. It's like, no. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. Releasing expectations. It doesn't mean that this stuff was wrong, but it's like the difference between nursery school and graduate school. There's always a higher truth. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. This is about freedom. When you release expectations, it is no longer your job to be in control of reality. Because when the world makes us think we're in control of reality, you are a soul birthed from the fabric of destiny, where only the perfection of universal will takes shape and form. That doesn't mean you have to like it, and it doesn't mean it's what you want, but it's what the soul needs to play the game. I know. Trust me, I'm not thrilled about it either. Once expectations are released, a life beyond your wildest imagination is given permission to enter your reality. In other words, we relax, we go with the flow, we say, all right, whatever. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not, and whether I like them or not. It's a different way of looking at this past, at the time, October 2021, this past almost 2 years of what we have been through on planet Earth. Not to mention the past whatever century, right? This mantra is ideal for having more faith, learning how to trust, and alleviating disappointment. And I do feel like there is disappointment on this table, but I'm going to say this, it is framed, right? That central disappointment at the crossroads here on the path of true love, all these fives going on and hidden jealousies and all of that. Some inequities, right, with that equality and justice on the table. But surrounding it is all like major arcana. It's all about whoever is watching this, that as they release expectation, they will automatically be manifesting a better reality, either in this relationship, right? Because you got this Sun card, but Seven of Swords on the outer. Some self-preservation going on there at a minimum, but something that they can be really happy with, but may not have met their expectations. So a very, very powerful read. Let me put it together in a final blessing here. Let's see what comes out my mouth. Breathe. Particularly for my crab cakes, my beloved, the beloved pantheons of the divine, for the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, please. May the Cancerian collective be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love, that they may be the most powerful, loving, wise, powerful version of their wisdom in action, should they be the witch archetype. And if they are the thief archetype, that light will be shed on the potential wealth within them that can never be stolen, because love is all around them. Love is everywhere all the time. They just simply to acknowledge this as truth. There is love in play here. There's absolutely, it's written into the destiny, that Two of Cups, which yes, indicates a more romantic dealio going on here, but maybe that's an on and off thing as well, or completely not that at all. But for the witch archetype here, that though their minds may be spinning, they are maintaining that authenticity. If they are not the Cancerian, then with that real emotional stability, maturity, and creativity here, dealing with whatever is going on under the surface, that Seven of Cups that no one's talking about, yet coming from this place of Six of Swords with potential from the past, sailing into this calmly. We see that in the King of Cups, but that there is transformative victory here. The Death card with the Seven of Flames, victory, crowning this, that if taken, gives them more freedom and the new beginning, maybe to jump back into this relationship, or maybe to jump away from this relationship, because the lesson here is about them letting their light shine, having a good time, being free, being fun, but doing it with balanced motivation and inspiration, real emotional guidance and grace here, really, because they appear to be coming off as an intensely aligned, spiritually attuned force for justice. The Justice card also talking about karma balanced from other lives, or maybe this one. And it is certainly time on the outer with the Wheel of Fortune with the Two of Cups. There is a heart connection here. I can feel it, and it will lead them to happiness. That Sun card, that clarity, that healing, the happiest card in the deck, granted, but with that Seven of Swords there is some aspect of this that is discreet, that is hidden, perhaps like attracts like, them longing for more love in their lives, therefore sending this person, loving them anyway, even if from a distance from their little crab shell in the castle at the bottom of the aquarium. And for this thief, that love is all around them. They just simply to acknowledge that, and as they do, that if they can work with that seahorse energy to really balance this emotionally, really get this into equality, that everyone in this relationship has their proper role, and along the way that they release expectations, because only the highest possibilities are going to come to be, whether they envision it or not, that they're going to heal, that they're going to grow, that they're going to evolve on the path of true love, becoming the divine love we all are at core, our natural inheritance, blocked only by lies, illusions, deceptions, and delusions, and that's true for everybody. So whatever this pain is, may it be resolved under grace and in perfect ways for their well-being and for the well-being of all. So motivate, and so it is. There you have it. The Path of True Love read. Now you see why I'm only putting 1 or 2 of these out a day. I'm going to need a nap after this. But certainly, what a powerful read. So did you like it? And I'm not kidding. If you are the thief here, I would love a little snippet, if you can, of how this plays out for you. Because I would just be interested. I would be interested to see that. It's just so much of the Cancerian thing seems to be on the witch side of it. There it is. So if you want to go deeper, book me for a read. Link in the description box. Want to read about that third eye envy, grace of knowledge and grace of clarity to balance that out? Check out my book, Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. And certainly, if you liked it, like it, you want more of me, subscribe. And follow along. Lots of cool stuff coming up for Joining the Circle Productions and Angelo, Lyons, son of a Cancerian mother. I miss her. Oh, and it's Sunday. I'm going to give her a call. Wishing you all the very best and the very blessed of this, my crab cakes. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.